Mike Bray has had November 6th circled on his calendar for a long time now, as the Irish have a date with the Tar Heels in Chapel Hill in a week. However, one member of the men's basketball team was most looking forward to last night's exhibition game against Capital University. Dane Goodwin's role model has always been his father, Damon.
He taught me everything I know in basketball.
And Tuesday night at Purcell Pavilion, he played against Capital University and the Crusaders' head coach, his dad.
It's definitely a bit weird, a bit different. Sitting on the sideline, seeing him down the side, instead of right next to you.
It certainly was a unique experience for the Goodwin family.
I've never done that before, so that's a first one. I tried to put that to the side and work on our guys. I think we had a good scouting report on them, I can tell you that.
These things don't really happen very often, and just to play against your dad, I don't think many people can say that, so it was definitely a cool experience.
But that experience almost never happened.
Sometimes you can go home and wonder what's going to happen next, and you never want to think that, but that was the reality.
In the fall of 2015, Damon was diagnosed with leukemia. The news took a toll on the Goodwin family.
Well, I think it was hard on everybody. I had to take a year off of coaching. I was in a hospital for quite some time, but it was a tough experience for us a few years ago, and it just made us stronger, I believe.
That experience made Damon especially close with Dane.
Through that whole experience, really bonded us and got us even closer. I'd come home, you watch my game film, keep me up to date and all those things, and it was definitely hard to go through, the uncertainty of what's going to happen next.
What's certain now is Damon is 3.5 years cancer-free. What's always been certain is the special bond between father and son.
I think there's been many times, probably not many times in college basketball, where a dad gets to play against a son on a different team at a college level. So I think that's a unique experience.
And perhaps the most important lesson Dane ever learned from his father was never on the basketball court, but in the game of life.
Life throws curveballs at you all the time, and his especially is bigger than the rest, and things are going to happen. Just maintain a positive attitude, the next step mentality. We talk about it here a lot too, and just knowing that at the end of the day everything's going to work out.
Now, during last night's game, Dane and Damon didn't speak to each other until after the final buzzer. They didn't even make eye contact during the game. You can see where Dane gets his competitiveness from, his biggest inspiration. Live in studio, Mark Skol Jr., 16 News Now. 3 St. Joe seniors are uber competitive. They've been that way since the day they were born, and one thing is always on their mind. Every time these triplets take the field at Layton Stadium, they're playing for Dutch.
I think growing up there definitely had to let my brothers know who came first.
The Driscoll triplets, John, Patrick, and Ryan, are all entering their senior year playing football at St. Joe. And they're all soaking in their last year together.
Being a triplet is so much fun. It's like having 2 best buddies around all day. I think as the season goes on by, I think it's going to start to be a bittersweet feeling. Not too many people can say they played football with their triplet brothers.
Being the mother of high school football playing triplets certainly can be stressful, but Kara Driscoll says raising her boys has been a lot of fun.
They're such good kids. They really get along with each other, so that makes my job really easy. But the younger years, 0 to 5, were complete chaos. They would always run in 3 different directions. And it was just me. So that was really hard.
Kara has been a single mother ever since the boys were 16 months old. Her husband and John, Patrick, and Ryan's father, John, passed away from a brain tumor in 2002.
When you're very young, it's kind of hard to understand how deep of a situation that is, not knowing you don't have your biological father with you. And as you get older and you start to realize that's when it started hitting the worst.
John played lacrosse at the University of Virginia, where he wore the number 32. On their 18th birthdays, both John and Ryan got tattoos to make sure they carry their father's memory with them everywhere they go.
I'd always had the idea that I wanted to get one, and I made my final decision to get it on my side, so he's always on my side. And I think just keeping that really close to my heart has been another way of reminding me that he's really never left us.
Kara feels like John is still in her home every day. Every time she turns a corner and sees one of her boys, she sees John.
John was just a really kind person. He had a lot of compassion. The best of him he passed on to his children. And it's so great to see that in him.
And despite never truly knowing their father, the Driscoll boys say they are still very close to him.
I just need to have that kind of close relationship with him, even though physically it was never there. We could, like, spiritually, I think it's definitely there. I think inside of us that it's definitely there.
And inside of the pearly gates in the sky, the Driscoll boys know their father is looking down at them, watching every step of the way.
I really think he is proud of all of us. We all resemble him in some way, and we all have been successful at school and sports and everything like that. So, and gentlemen and everything. So I really think he does respect us.
Now, Kara says she is not looking forward to the day John, Patrick, and Ryan graduate from St. Joe. She does not want to be an empty nester and will cherish every moment of their senior year and the 2019 football season forever. Riley High School basketball player Gabe Johnson has one thing on his mind.
Well, obviously, we always have one goal here at Riley, South Bend Riley. That's to get down and play in Banker's Life. That's our team goal. Sectional championships, regional championships, we've done that. We got to get over the hump.
But Johnson has already got over a hump, one that almost changed his life forever.
It means a lot to me to be able to still play the game that I love, considering what happened.
In June of 2016, Johnson was playing in an AAU tournament in Cincinnati. He collided with an opposing player after a layup and could not get up. Right away, Johnson knew something was wrong.
This was unbearable pain. I've broken ankles, torn Achilles, all types of things, and this was a different kind of pain.
His parents took him to Memorial Hospital after coming home from the basketball tournament. Immediately, the doctors knew the injury was serious.
The orthopedic surgeon came in and kind of set the scenario for us, and the long story short is he said there's a significant possibility that he could lose the leg. And I said, lose the leg? What are we talking about here?
Johnson had developed a major blood clot in his upper thigh. He went into surgery that night and it was successful. The doctors told his family had they waited another 24 hours, they would have amputated his leg. For the next 2.5 months, Johnson's sole focus was getting back on the court again.
It was a difficult process, but I just embraced the grind because I knew where I wanted to get back.
Johnson was back to his old self when he was able to dunk again.
It was like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this again. It was like a breath of fresh air.
And when Johnson played in his first game in November of 2016, it was an emotional night.
I was happy to be able to get those competitive juices flowing again. And I actually went home and cried happy tears.
Just to see him up and, able to do all the things that he loves to do, there's nothing like it in the world.
The blood clot left Johnson with a scar that runs the entire length of his thigh, but most importantly, it made him cherish every moment.
Every day when I wake up and my feet hit the floor, the first thing I do is I thank God for still being here, because there was a possibility that I could have either died or lost my leg. And so I thank him every day to be able to even walk and run and do things that people take for granted every day.
Mark Skol Jr., News Center 16.
Director Mark Skol Jr. joins us now from Four Winds Field to tell us what might be the difference for the Cubs in the postseason. Mark, exciting night.
Lauren, for the first time since becoming a Chicago Cubs affiliate, the South Bend Cubs have made it to the Midwest League Championship Series, and the players say they have a little magic on their side.
How can you best explain how you've been able to play at this high of a level at this perfect moment?
Mustaches.
The South Bend Cubs have the mustache mentality.
I think it's 2019, the mustache is back in style.
The South Bend Cubs are in the Midwest League Championship and have not lost a game in the postseason since sporting the stash.
It's just, we're bought in, stash for the playoffs, and I don't know, it's been working, so we're gonna ride it out.
The rules for the playoff stash are simple.
As long as you had something on your lip, you were fine. You could have a beard, but as long as the mustache was there, you're good. And then it just kind of took off, and now everybody's on board.
The mustache mentality started in the bullpen with relief pitcher Brendan King. He thought it would be a great way to bring the team closer together during the postseason.
It's probably more funny than anything. Guys, they start off on it, and everyone thinks they look like a clown, but when you're doing it as a team. It's fun and it keeps us together.
The Cubs also say it's a fantastic way to help keep their composure during the postseason pressures.
In a way, it's a distraction. There's a lot of big games and a lot of close games that we're playing in, but you look out there and when someone's screaming with excitement on second base and they got a stash on their face, it kind of just keeps everything loose in the dugout and in the clubhouse and not making everything too serious.
Every player on the team has a mustache, even if it's peach fuzz, and the Cubs believe the mustache mentality has a little magic to it.
Oh, it's the mustaches. That's what it is. But just having fun with it. It's fun. I'm glad people have bought in.
South Bend Cubs manager Buddy Bailey is also bought in, but he says the stash is not for him.
It only takes me one day to grow, but it takes them 2 weeks to grow. So that's all I need to say.
Bad news for Bailey and the South Bend Cubs. Their opponent tonight, the Clinton Lumber Kings, have also rocked the mustache to get to the Midwest League Championship Series. So tonight, we will truly find out whose mustache has the magic.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 22, Sergio Ayala.
Northwood High School baseball player Sergio Ayala is a dreamer.
I want to be in the MLB, be a superstar, play there, and just love the game.
The love for the game started for Ayala in his home country of Puerto Rico. And 2 years ago, Ayala's beloved island of enchantment was struck with disaster.
You felt like dragons throwing fireballs at the whole island. That was really scary.
Hurricane Maria hit his hometown of Bayamón, leaving his community devastated. The death toll in Puerto Rico is now over 3,000, and a tree fell onto Ayala's house.
You felt like a new island. Like, you felt like a new place where everything was different.
2 months later, Ayala and his father moved to a place that is entirely different from Puerto Rico, Indiana. And despite growing up in an entirely different culture, he's been welcomed with full arms by the Hoosier community.
I feel pretty blessed of how people are accepting me, no matter how many times I fail or do something. They know I work hard, but I'm pretty blessed.
After spending his first year in high school at Bethany Christian, Ayala moved into the Northwood District. Now he's playing a crucial role for the Panthers in the NLC.
He doesn't take many plays off with his voice. He's very electric. He wants to pump guys up. He wants to be a leader even though he's a sophomore, which I love, and he's able to do that for us. Regardless of his background.
And that's because when Ayala steps on the field, Hurricane Maria doesn't even cross his mind.
Every time I cross that fence, everything goes away. Like all the problems or the bad moments just goes away, and you just baseball time and just enjoy playing.
He's enjoying every moment because he's lucky to be here.
A chance to be where am I and have the support. When I came here, I wasn't even close from expecting how blessed I am. So I'm just gonna stay home and keep working hard.
Mark Skol Jr., News Center 16.